Morning all, it's now the 13th of November and it's cold outside. It's -3 this morning. So what am I going to do today? Well, hopefully the starter will be in for this 200 TDI, so then I should be able to get this engine in. One or two things I've got to do first is prep up this housing. I've put it through the wet bead blaster, come up nice, but I was just about to fit the seal, and I'm about to fit this corticore seal, and I've noticed that the insertion tool here, you know, the tool where you put over the crank, this is a lovely smooth finish. Now obviously I'm going to use my steel tool, but the other ones are absolutely horrendously bad, you know, the cheap seals, the Brit Party ones. So if you're going to get a seal, get a corticore one. What's the part number in it? I have no idea, but there's the part number for it. I'm just looking for a Land Rover part number, but I can't find one. So anyway, what's the problem with this? Well, I was just about to like I say, fit the seal, and I noticed that the dowels here are pressed flush. Can you see that? Same with, where is it now? Where is it? There. They're pressed flush. This is not good news. So we're going to try and get them out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole in the middle, try and drill and tap it, or even with a self-tapper, and using a slide hammer try and pull them out. Now I think that these are, I've got some spare ones, but I think what we might have to do is put some sort of a packing behind here so that the thing's sticking out, because that's been pushed in too far. It's had a little bit of damage on this. You can probably see there's a crack. Where is it now? There's a crack here where that stud's been screwed in too far. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Anyway, let's see if we can. Anyway, I'm not sure about that. So let's see if we can drill and tap that out a little bit. See if we can salvage this cover. We have to do, because there isn't another one. Right, having drilled out the holes, I've got a self-tapper in here. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. Let's see what we can use for a slide hammer. So what I've done now is I've taken a stud out of here, and I've taken a stud out of here. I have to take them out anyway to put some guide bolts in, so that might work in our favour. And also I've found this pry bar that should go into there. So I want, well, let's use that centre punch. Oh, that's tight. That's really tight. Heat. Yeah, it's forced its way in, and that's not a good thing. And I don't want to drill it out because I'll be out on my alignment. Let's warm it up a bit. See what that does. That didn't hurt, did it? So we'll do that with the other side and get those bolts out. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? Well, thwarted again. I've got every imaginable dowel pin in here except one that fits in here. It's a pretty loose fit now in there, but I did find some pins, round pins like this, which are a nice snug fit, but obviously they're parallel. So I'm going to take it down to the great man himself and see if he can put it in his lathe and just whiz it down to that height there, so that this will go right down to the bottom of here, and it should work. And if it's stood out a little bit proud, I can just buff the top off with a a sanding disc. So that has put that job on hold. Now JP is working on something of mine at the moment. What's he working on? Oh yes, that's right. There's a stud that comes out of the intake manifold which holds a bracket on, which holds the oil feed pipe to stop it rattling around, and he's making me one of those. It's a 1/2 inch diameter with a 10mm thread on. Nothing fancy. Right, back from the machine shop, the dowels have been replaced. Now it's time to get on with this engine. You can see I've transferred it from the rolling frame onto the hoist. That means we're getting somewhere. So what I'm going to do, I can't remember if I've changed this bushing in here before. Honestly can't. This has been going on for so long. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to put a new one in. Stand still. And because we've got a new one. Like I say, I looked back on the videos and I couldn't see if I did it. I know I did it on the 2.5 naturally aspirated, but I'm not sure about this one. We'll put our old favourite tool in here. Expand it. Is it a new one? Well, it looks pretty good. I'm not sure if it's a new one or not. So we'll put that down for a minute. We'll go and get a new bush. I can't remember if we've done this on this particular series, but these are oil-like bushes. They're like made of little bits of granules of brass or bronze, and you have to soak them for at least 24 hours before fitting. And then they'll soak in, and then they're good for the rest of their life, usually. So I'm going to use my fitting tool. This is just an aluminium washer. There's the bush. There's the crank. We line it up. And that's that. We use an aluminium washer because it's softer. Doesn't damage anything. Right, that's that one. Now I've already given all this here a damn good brake cleaner in, so it's all nice and dry. So now we can put the rehousing on, and remember, this has to be dry as a bone, really dry. We're going to put some sealer around here in accordance to what Land Rover wants. Get any dirt off the sealer. Now another thing we've got to make sure is that when we put the sump on here, like the ladder frame, we've got to trim off any bits of excess silicone just with a blade. There we go. That's that off. We're all happy there, so we're going to put a bead around here, just round here I suppose. Just so it's all nice and happy. My friend Jeremy in Montreal gave us a really good hot tip about these containers, these for silicone. Putting the cap on doesn't do anything, but if you put them in a little container full of oil, they won't dry out. And look, see? It doesn't dry out. Isn't that neat, eh? What a great idea. I'm always learning stuff. Here we are. It's here in my hand all the time. I've put the seal in, and I've run a little bit of sealer around the outside just to be doubly sure. Now, if you're going to replace an oil seal on a 200 TDI or something with this styling, I would advise you to take off the cover, put the seal in the cover rather than hammering the seal into here. I think you'll cause damage. And of course I've got my press with a big plate on there so I can push it nice and square. That makes a big difference, doesn't it? So dry. Where's the starter? There's the starter. There's the dowel holes. ones lined up. There we go. And push and remove. Well, that didn't hurt, did it? Look at that. Oh, it'll be oil tight now. Next, put all the bolts in here, 2 in the top, and then we can start to mount things up. Now, this down here, the one thing I don't like about 200 TDIs is that they had some bolts go in round the bell housing to hold on to this ladder frame under here. So what? Well, you can't get, if you want to do something to the rods, you know, change the piston rings in situ, it's very, very difficult because you can't get to these bolts. You have to take the gearbox out. Well, you might as well take the engine out. You see what I'm trying to get at? It's the craziest idea. It makes no sense to me. What do I know? Right, let's get those bolts tightened down. Right, the adapter plate is on. All these threads have been cleaned out, dried out. The new bush in there, ready to put the flywheel on. I've fastened those bolts down there, torqued them down, all the bolts have been torqued down correctly. And again, Loctite, if I didn't mention it. So let's go with the flywheel. Right, here we go. Now. Oh, that might be nice. There. Oh, what do you think of that? Looks nice, doesn't it, with a nice faced off flywheel. Yeah, they're getting heavy, aren't they, nowadays? Yeah, so that looks nice. We'll get some bolts in. Oh, wait, they're in the container. And it's dark. Tell you what. Starter hasn't turned up yet, so there's not much I can do, really. I think what I'll do is I'll call it a day. And then see what tomorrow brings.